This is your Mustang Story. Welcome to 007. Yes, 007 is the episode, but the 00 means I spy two cool Mustangs from Ohio and Oklahoma. So it's episode 00 Heaven. Today on Your Mustang Story. My roots are in Ohio, so it was fun to talk to Ohioan Danny Derrberry about his outer space alien green 2013 Boss Mustang. Then it's a visit to Oklahoma and Bill Worden and his journey to build an award-winning 64.5 convertible into a tribute to OSU as we ride 'em Cowboys at the MCA National. Yeehaw! On this episode of Your Mustang Story.
Danny, welcome to the show.
Okay.
Tell me where you're from.
Originally from Akron, Ohio. We live right now for 50 years in Atwater, Ohio. It's about 30 miles east of Akron.
Wow. Yeah,
Okay.
My dad worked in Akron at Goodyear.
Yep,
So
yep.
Small town.
Yep.
What do you do for a living?
Well, I was a sheet metal worker, and then I was a contractor. I also was part of the school system for the apprenticeship program. I was with that for 28 years. Finally retired as shop owner and operator after 38 years in the industry. I was retired for 6 months and started a wood business up after that.
Well, you can't just sit
Then
around.
I was township trustee, so I ran
Holy
for trustee,
smokes.
got that job, and was doing that for 8 years.
Wow, so you've been busy.
Yeah, and then in the meantime, we decided to go on vacation, which I didn't get very many of. We belonged to this vacation club, and I said, just get me somewhere near water. I don't care where it is, just water. So they said, hey, we got a place down in South Carolina, in Myrtle Beach, right on the ocean. We went down there, on the way in, we start seeing a couple of Mustangs. And we saw this GT500. It was a brand new 2013, 662 horsepower.
Wow.
I got to see this car, so I went over and talked to the guy. He says, are you here for Mustang Week? I said, Mustang Week? What's that? I said, I never heard of it. And he says, there's going to be 5,000 Mustangs down here during Mustang Week. You won't believe it. Well, I'm going to be here this whole week, so I'm going to take advantage of that. So every morning, I woke up and heard these 900 plus, these modified Mustangs. I fell in love.
No doubt.
And I told her, I says, I worked my butt off all these years. I says, I've never even owned a Mustang. I never even rode in a Mustang, but I love them so much. I fell in love immediately. When we get back home, we're going to buy one.
Nice.
And just so happened during Mustang Week, they had the track days down there where you could go and drive on the track. And we were there, and they had two dealers down there, and they were inside the track, and they had displays. And what do you think they were displaying? The Boss 302s. They had a grabber blue, and they had a red one just like this one. And I asked him, I says, man, those are beautiful. I'd really like to have one. Can you sell me one? He said, well, yes, we can, and we're going to sell it to you for sticker price. I said, well, I'll tell you what, maybe I better go back home because it was near the end of the week, and we'll go back and see if I can get some of my local dealers. I got to patronize them. That's where we live. And I went back, and every one of them that I went to, they all had them. They wanted between 5,000 and 10,000 over sticker. And I says, I'm not going to do that. So just about that time, my buddy that we were going around with that lives down there in Myrtle Beach calls me up on a phone. And he says, hey, my Ford dealership down here just came off the truck with a brand new Boss 302. Got to have it green, just like you were talking you were wanting. And I said, well, take me pictures of it and send them up to me. And I was at home, and I looked at all this. I said, my God, that's exactly what I want. I said, what's going to take to buy this car? He says, do you have a credit card? I said, yes, I do. He says, give me $500 on that credit card, and you just bought your car.
Nice.
So I bought this car sight on scene from Ohio, and I rented a car, drove down to South Carolina, picked it up, and drove it back. And that's how we got that car.
Now describe it for us. What year, weight, model?
Well, it's a 2013 Boss 302. They got to have it green. And the wife says, that color is special. We had to pay extra for that color. And she says, it's just weird. I've never seen a color. It can't be from this earth. It's got to be something else. I said, why don't we call it the Alien? And that's what we call it, the Alien, because It's a green color.
Danny, that's awesome.
Yep.
I'm telling you, that's amazing.
Yep.
Just so you know, our chapter president has a convertible in that color. So there you go. Where do you show it? Where do you drive it?
Well, originally we started showing it to local shows. We decided, well, the rest of the club members in our club, they were starting to go to these national shows, the MCA shows. So I said, well, I'm going to try it one time, you know. So we went out there. We were taking her car. Now, my wife, as soon as I bought this one, we loved it so much. The next year, she bought a 2014 V6 Premium, and the second day that she's had that car, we've modified it ever since. And it's a 3.7 liter, just like you were talking to V6, but it runs like a raped ape. I mean, it really runs good. And we were showing that one the whole time instead of showing this one, because this was kind of like a race car. And we've showed hers for all these years, and she got her grill medallion. I said, well, it's time for me to show this one. So if I go to this show and the other 3 shows this year, I'll have enough points to get my grill medallion for this car. And that's what I'm looking forward to.
That's wonderful. I hope you get it. That'll be fun.
And we've never had a Mustang before in our life. In fact, I hate to say this, but we were Chevy people until we bought a Thunderbird in 1991, and that switched us over.
So let me ask you this. What would be your advice to somebody thinking about maybe a Mustang?
My advice is, if you've never had one, at least go to the dealership and take a test drive in it. And once you take that test drive in a Mustang, you'll be hooked, because it's that fun of a car to drive. It really is. Especially something like this. This thing here was specifically designed for the track, and it's got a suspension system that's just unbelievable. It turns like it's on rails, and that's about the way it is. It really does.
Yeah, it's legendary in that arena.
Yeah, it does. Oh yeah, that's right. The other thing that they've never done it on any other Mustang except for this one, they came out with 2 keys, the black key and the red key. The red key obviously is a performance key. It changes over 400 different parameters on that engine and drive time just when you put the red key in it. Of course, you have to have it programmed.
Right.
And when I bought this car, I bought it in 2012, not 2013, at the end of the year, like in July, and nobody even knew about the programming. I went over to our local Ford dealership. I says, can you program this red key in? He says, I don't know, man. Let me talk to my main service guy over here. He says, well, I'm going to call Ford Racing. So he called Ford Racing, and they literally, over the internet, sent the program down, and he had to program it in on the computer. Took about an hour and a half. And man, when that thing comes on, you know it.
Amazing.
I mean, you turn the red key on and it says red key enable, and you leave it on, and as soon as the engine gets to the proper temperature, you just hit the accelerator and it immediately activates everything. And then when it goes down on idle, it literally shaking the car. It's idle, not rough. I mean, it's a race mode at that point. Yeah. Oh, yeah, then after that, everybody that had these Bosses, I don't know if this is a common knowledge or not, but about a month after you bought it, here comes a package in the mail. I mean, I'm talking a big package, book and everything in there. And it was the history of how they tested this car to design it so it would be for that track. And in that was also a little letter. And it says, you are formally invited to go to Tooele, Utah, and go through the Ford Racing School and learn how to drive this.
Awesome, yeah.
And they says, we'll pay for everything except for you getting there. If you can get there, everything else is on us. And I went through that school, and that was awesome. That's all I got to say.
That was the best experience you've had.
Best experience practically in my whole life. I mean, I've never even raced anything as far on the straight, drag racing. Never on a circuit track like that or at all. And he showed us everything there is to know on how to drive it. And since then, Ford has done it with a lot of other cars and the trucks. The Raptors, they did that with the Raptors.
I got to get out of the way to allow them, because I don't want to disturb anybody before their judge.
Hey.
But hey, Danny, thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you.
We really enjoyed it.
Your Mustang Story will be right back.
Mustang warns you and transforms you. Mustang is it about Mustang that makes it happen? Maybe it's the new styling for 68. Features to choose from like Select Shift and AM/FM stereo radio. Maybe it's standards like bucket seats, or options like a new 302 V8 and bold racy hood stripes. Or maybe it's just the original idea, the better idea called Mustang. Ford has a better idea.
Now, more of your Mustang story.
Bill, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you here. This is a beautiful day at the MCA National Mustang Enchantment in Albuquerque, and I came walking down the line and saw this absolutely stunning black and orange Mustang, and I want you to tell us what it is.
So this is a 1964 and a half Mustang convertible. When it was born, it was Wimbledon white with a blue interior. And I, of course, have since modified it completely.
It's black, 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 and a beautiful orange accents that just absolutely striking. They're on the door. They're on the underside of the trunk. The trunk is finished beautifully. The wheels and tires are magnificent, and the dashboard is trimmed in orange as well. I'll let you continue. It's a beautiful car.
Absolutely. So I went to school at Oklahoma State University. I'm a huge football fan, go to all their games, and so when I bought their car, I knew I wanted to kind of make a tribute car to some extent. And so it started, of course, with me working on it in the garage and never having enough time, and finally took it to a restoration place. And this is what we came out with, just jet black with a few orange accents.
It's beautiful.
But when you look at it, you know it's an Oklahoma State car. Go Cowboys.
Yeah. Did the shop that you partnered with, did they do a good job?
Absolutely.
Well, let's give them a shout out. What's their name?
So it's Lone Star Restorations in Texas, just south of Fort Worth.
Cool. Lone Star Restorations. And then are you a member of MCA Club in that area? I know you're a national member, but are you a member of the local MCA?
I'm a member of the Oklahoma MCA Club, the Oklahoma Mustang Club.
All right. Shout out to the Oklahoma Mustang Club. To all you Mustangers in Oklahoma City, this shout out's for you guys. This car represents so well the trimmings, and it's not overdone. It's done sublime.
Yes.
Is this your only Mustang?
It is, yeah. I've had two previous Mustangs.
What were they?
Well, one, I honestly don't remember. My granddad purchased it when I was young.
Wow.
And I never drove the car. We sold it. And then I had a 1989 Mustang GT when I was in high school.
Oh, wow.
So this is technically my third, but really the second Mustang that I've driven.
Right. Gotcha.
So I've always liked them. I like the fact that my granddad had them. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the family tie really does matter.
Yep.
So this is your main car right now. How did you get the car, the base car? How did you get the original Wimbledon white with blue interior that is not anywhere near that now?
Well, so that's kind of a long story. I was actually looking online, was in California for a business trip, went and looked at a couple, and they were terrible. I mean, it had welded metal across the bottom to hold them together, so I looked a little more, found one, and just outside of a town in Montana, I can't remember the name now, started looking at flights because I wanted to go look at it. I want to put my hands on this, and it was going to be a little cost prohibitive just to go up and look at a car, so I found a company that does inspections.
All right.
So they went out, talked to the gentleman that owned the car. He was the second owner The car grew up in Arizona.
Nice.
So no
Good points
salt
there.
damage. Absolutely.
Yeah, good points there.
Got pictures back, just some minor rust here and there and some minor paint imperfections. And I knew I was going to restore it anyway.
Arizona cars, babe.
Absolutely. So I essentially bought the car sight unseen and had it shipped from Montana to Oklahoma City.
Nice. The result of your labors is just absolutely stunning. What are some of your favorite things that the club does that you like to go to?
So they do a monthly meeting and a monthly drive, which is fun. Just kind of get-togethers. And of course, in Oklahoma City, they do several car shows, which is fun just to get with the group and kind of see the people, just like showing up at these national shows.
Yeah.
You see people 4 or 5 times a year that you remember that you've seen at other shows.
You really like?
Yeah,
to see
just say
again.
hi.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
That's the Mustang family.
Yep.
That's what it is. Since you've done such an extensive job on this car, what would you tell people? What are some tips or tricks doing a project like this?
Have a big checkbook.
Whoa, really big. Yeah, that's like the biggest tool in the box, right?
Yes. Oh, I think one thing is just to make it your own. I mean, I had a lot of people tell me, don't do this or don't do that or don't add this. And interestingly enough, when I took the car in my mind, wanted the traditional Mustang fastback racing stripes in orange across the hood and trunk. And as you can see, they're not there. And basically, the restoration place said, no, we're not going to do that. And we argued over the phone to the point of me saying, I'm paying for this. This is what I want. And they said, no, we'll do some other things. And when you get here and look at the car, if you want it changed, we'll change it.
Wow.
And as you can see, I did, and it turned out beautiful.
No, it turned out absolutely stunning.
So even though you may have something in your mind, there are experts out there that do this on a daily basis. And so they may have different ideas that turn out perfect in the end.
Consider their advice heavily.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I've heard of that shop. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
What's your next Mustang destination?
I think from here I'm going to Indianapolis to the next Mustang National. I'm trying to hit all of them this year.
Oh, wow.
So it's
that'd be
Indianapolis, Topeka, Kansas, and Melbourne, Florida.
Nice. Hitting all the nationals.
Yes.
That'll be a blast. That'll be a lot of fun. What Mustang would be in your dream garage?
So if I were to purchase another one, I would get a brand new Shelby Mustang and outfit it exactly like this.
Wow, so it would be black with orange trim.
Absolutely. Convertible, to where they were brother and sister 60 years apart.
Yeah, that would be smashing. I really do hope that we or someone else will get some images of this OSU Mustang out on the web.
It's actually in the Mustang magazine because not last year, but 2 years ago, Mustang Nationals was in Mustang, Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And this car was the governor's choice.
Oh, right on.
For the state of Oklahoma.
All right. Thank you very much for being on the show, Bill. Really enjoyed this chat.
Appreciate it.
And we'll see you further up the road.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
You see, everybody has a Mustang story. We'd like to hear yours. Reach out to us at contact@yourmustangstory.com. Your Mustang Story is a presentation of Spirited USA LLC, all rights reserved. The views and opinions expressed on Your Mustang Story are solely those of the participants and do not necessarily represent Spirited USA or its sponsors. Send questions or comments to contact@yourmustangstory.com. And please spread the word. Like, follow, and subscribe wherever you find us on the web. It really helps. And thanks. See you next time.